از بودی پراره چی Serios deli di Serios deli di подключились, хипиш, дали, хипиш, мусоров вызывайте, мусоров вызывайте, мусоров. Мусоров вызывайте, мусоров вызывайте, мусоров. Чанков! Чанков! Мусоров вызывай срочно!
Islam Makhachev must have the most incredible squeeze. His squeeze must be out of this world. Because you see how quick Charles tapped once he clamped that on him. I mean, whew, that dude is on another level.
A person is misguided in their thoughts. And when they're misguided in their thoughts, they set themselves up for a very, very bad night or a bad result. I'm not saying Ian Garry cannot beat Islam Makhachev. What I'm saying is you got to take that as it comes. You can't try to say, I want to beat the number one pound fighter in the world in a certain round because I don't want it to be a fluke. If you win, it does not matter how you win. It does not matter how you win.
Let's be honest. Khabib, Chimaev, Islam, those three guys, if you were to put them into a wrestling room with Olympic level wrestlers, how would they do?
Oh, Olympic level wrestlers?
Yeah.
It'd be bad for them. But I mean, that's wrestling. Obviously these guys are the best in the world at fighting, but I think that they would do well against maybe some collegiate guys, but Olympic level, no.
Islam Makhachev is not letting anything slip through the cracks as he readies himself to defend his welterweight belt against Ian Garry for the very first time. New training videos are creating a lot of buzz amongst fans as the champion shows off all sides of his game, while critics and experts alike are trying to figure out who, if anybody, can take him down. In addition, there have been some bold statements being made by former champions, coaches, and fighters alike, with some siding with the champion's aggressive wrestling style and others believing that Garry can shock the world.
Dude, I think a lot of people kind of are down on Islam because he has that loss at UFC 192 in 2015, and they're like, well, you know, he lost. But if you look at the guy's run, it's just incredible. Like wins over even guys like Gleison Tibau, who gave Khabib run for his money back in the day, but guys like obviously Arman Sarukian, you know, middle of the road guys like Drew Dober. Then he goes up there, Dan Hooker, which is never an easy fight. I know it was last minute notice. Bobby Green, like the veterans. Then you got guys like Charles Oliveira, who we're going to be talking about in just a second, who are just at the top of their game regardless. Like you could still see what he just did to Max Holloway. The guy's just an absolute beast. Alex Volkanovski twice. I mean, that's just like when Robert Whittaker had to fight Yoel Romero twice. Like people kind of underestimate those fights. Volkanovski's a hard guy to fight. Then you fight him again on short notice. And I know Volk kind of came off the couch for that one, but you still got to give Islam credit. And then Dustin Poirier, an absolute war, which I almost feel like made him a little bit like it was an epic fight. Maybe it wasn't as prolific as the usual Islam fight, but he showed a lot of heart and it was really exciting. Moicano, he just took whatever notice, and then moving up to fight JDM in the welterweight division at the time was like kind of an underrated champion, I feel, and a big risk for him.
Islam Makhachev versus Ian Garry. What's your thoughts on that fight?
I don't even think it's remotely close. Very easy matchup for Islam.
Really?
Dude, he's gonna take Ian Gary down, and that's it. That's the end of it. Like it's not even remotely close.
Really interesting.
Like genuinely, I don't think it's even a little bit close. Look what he did to JDM.
Yeah, but
JDM has better takedown defense than Ian does.
But JDM does not run on his bike like Ian Gary does. Ian Gary will be very difficult to track down.
His legs are also twice as long, so there's a lot of leg to grab.
It'll be very difficult, I think, in the beginning to try to track. This is my concern, and obviously you all know that I'm an Islam homer. My concern is that the speed and the movement is going to kind of frustrate Islam a little bit. And if he goes and reaches, there could be something that he catches on the way in. That's all that concerns me. And I said this to John Morgan as well, once this fight hits the ground, it's over. I don't think this fight gets past. If this fight hits the ground in the first round, it doesn't get out of the first round.
Well, you think he subs him? I don't think he gets subbed. I think Ian Gary's working his dick off with jiu-jitsu, and he's at Charles Oliveira's gym. What the hell's that? Shooter box. He's at Shooter box. He's training his ass off. I don't think
he gets subbed.
JDM didn't get subbed. You make it sound like Islam's just subbing everybody.
He is subbing everybody.
With the predictions regarding the fight between Islam Makhachev and Ian Machado Garry continuously splitting opinions in the MMA community, there are people who feel that the underdog might actually be able to surprise everyone. Craig Jones is among the experts who have seen the potential for an upset by Garry, even though they are aware of just how dangerous the grappling of Islam Makhachev can be. Jones revealed that Garry had proved in the past that he is capable of defending himself against moves which resemble those of Islam, noting how he successfully defended against Rachmanov's moves.
Do you think Ian Gary could beat Islam?
You know, I actually do. I actually do think he has a very good chance at beating Islam. I remember watching, so what Islam does really, obviously does a bunch of things incredibly well. Like I slander him at any chance I get, but truly appreciate every ounce of technique he does. And one of his most beautiful takedowns is a single leg where a guy digs an underhook and he turns it into a clubbing takedown. And now Shovcut tried that exact move on Ian Gary, and Ian Gary countered it and ended up on Shovcut's back. So I think an open space takedown, Islam's go-to. Ian Gary does have a very good answer too.
It will be interesting. Some people think Michael Morales would be his kryptonite because of the judo background.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like I've seen Michael Morales celebrating on the streets of Mexico in some flamboyant outfits. I think that would be his kryptonite. That is a scary man.
But what Jones does realize is how devastating Makhachev can become when he has a fighter on the mat. After guiding Jack Della Maddalena to his bout against the champ, Jones was disappointed with the result. But he was happy to see how well JDM was able to withstand the continuous grappling pressure of Islam and avoid being finished via submissions. Jones says that perhaps his earlier statements regarding Islam's submission skills might have inspired him to seek a decisive finish. Jones claims that Islam went into that fight with something to prove.
I mean, when we had the Islam fight, obviously that was disappointing, but I was very proud of him for persevering through and not being submitted. I'd like to take a little credit there that I talked so much shit about Sambo that Islam, he's not yet submitted a guy I've cornered. And I think he really wanted that sub against Jack. And then there was some like back and forth after the fight and stuff like that. So I feel like in some sense, I protected Jack against some ground and pound because Islam was like, I'm going to submit this guy and I'm going to shut up these jiu-jitsu people once and for all.
In addition to this, Jones told the story of what went down following the match between himself and the time when Islam Makhachev and Khabib Nurmagomedov came up to them and their team. The story he told was an interesting one where, in the midst of tension, Islam made some jokes regarding Jones's comments about his jiu-jitsu by saying that the champion was not able to lock a submission on him. Nevertheless, Jones told that after a brief tension, the meeting became very respectful and Islam even asked him to come to Dagestan for training and work with him in the future.
I do recall, it feels like ages ago now, after that fight, I think it was Islam and Khabib went up to you.
Yeah.
What did they say?
I mean, obviously there was no flying eagle kick, thank God, you know. Well, it was funny because when the fight ended, Jack stood up and Islam was like screaming at me. The fight was still going on. And I don't know why he's screaming at me. You know what I mean? Like, he's like, where is your jiu-jitsu now? You know what I mean? And I was just thinking in my head, I'm like, you didn't get the submission, bro. I mean, like, mission on my behalf. But afterwards, yeah, Islam came up and he was like, he was nice about it. He was like, come train in Dagestan. Obviously, he said 2-3 years, but yeah, I think one day we'll be able to link up and train together. Like Lex was trying to make that happen. And then Khabib came over. And obviously, I feel like Islam has a better sense of humor than Khabib.
On the other hand, Daniel Cormier believes Ian Garry could be making a mistake by putting too much focus on how he wants to defeat Makhachev. Cormier questioned Garry's mindset after the Irishman suggested he wanted to secure a 4th-round knockout to avoid anyone calling the victory a fluke. According to the former champion, trying to force a specific outcome against the pound-for-pound best fighter in the world can create unnecessary pressure. Cormier explained that Garry should focus on doing whatever it takes to get his hand raised, because a win over Islam would be a major achievement regardless of how it happens. Apart from being technically superior to Makhachev, Garry thinks that this fight is just another step towards creating his legacy. It is evident that for the Irishman, a championship title is not just something that matters much to him. He aspires to be the master of a particular division. According to Garry, welterweight has not seen any dominant champions since the days of Kamaru Usman, and he is determined to change that. Planning to beat the top guys in the division before moving to the next division of middleweight, Garry feels that he has what it takes to be among the greatest in the sport of MMA.
There hasn't been a dominant champion in the division, since Kamaru Usman, really. Belts being passing around to different champions.
I feel like there hasn't been a long reigning dominant champion in a long time. My goal is to dominate this division. You become one of the greatest of all time when you eliminate the division. And when you start having to kind of recycle and go through it again. I've already beaten 6 of the top 15. Islam will be 7. I'll be the champion of the world. I think I have about 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 fights at welterweight, and then we move up to middleweight and do it all over again.
As part of his added boost in confidence, Ian thinks that no other fight presents him with both a bigger challenge and a bigger opportunity than fighting against Makhachev. The Irishman said that if he wants to show that he belongs among the best fighters in the world, he must beat the best fighter. Garry thinks that Islam represents the perfect challenge for him, considering that he is pound for pound the king and one of the most dominant champions in the sport's history. Whereas the domination of Makhachev may have raised questions in people's minds about how Dagestani fighters are unbeatable, Wrestling Olympics champion Kyle Snyder suggests that there is more to this story. This is because the wrestling culture of Dagestan begins at a very tender age when these individuals are exposed to training in overcrowded gyms and perfecting their skills in wrestling, combat, sambo, and judo. In the opinion of Snyder, it is this rigorous preparation, superb coaching, and mentality of never giving up that has produced so many world-class fighters. The other thing that Snyder pointed out about Dagestani wrestlers was what lay deep in their minds, a motive that made them work extra hard for the sake of their success. After having toured around Dagestan, Snyder got to see himself how being an elite wrestler meant a great deal of opportunities for the athletes who managed to achieve such status. He argued that many fighters from a young age believed that succeeding in the sport meant not only improving their own life prospects, but also those of their family. As Makhachev continues to build his legacy, many are now questioning whether he has already done enough to be considered the best fighter in the world. Bedtime MMA believes the answer is clear, naming Islam as the current pound-for-pound #1 and suggesting he is only a few victories away from being in the greatest of all-time conversation. He explained that defeating elite modern welterweights like Ian Machado Garry would make Islam's resume even harder to deny, especially in an era where staying champion and collecting title defenses has become increasingly difficult. Bedtime MMA also pointed out that Islam's resume stands out because of the level of opponents he has defeated. He explained that Islam has consistently faced fighters who were already on incredible winning streaks, including JDM, Charles Oliveira, and Alexander Volkanovski. According to him, the context behind those victories makes them even more impressive, especially considering Islam traveled to Australia and defeated Volkanovski during the peak of his career. While admitting he had personal reasons to root against Islam, He acknowledged that the champion's accomplishments are impossible to ignore, and that his position as the pound-for-pound best is difficult to argue against. Despite believing Makhachev is the pound-for-pound best fighter in the world, Bedtime MMA believes Ian presents one of the toughest challenges of his career. He explained that Garry's combination of size, striking ability, and grappling improvements gives him a legitimate chance against the champion. Bedtime MMA pointed to Garry's performances against Carlos Prate and Shavkat Rakhmonov, where he showed elite striking, strong fight IQ, and the ability to compete with dangerous opponents on the feet and the ground. While Islam remains the favorite, he believes Garry has the tools to create problems and that an upset would not be surprising. Who wins, Islam Makhachev or Ian Machado Garry? Drop your prediction in the comments and subscribe for more UFC news, predictions, and fight breakdowns.